Whether you're raising money for Speed the Light, BGMC, or any other charity, there are only two ways to raise money. What are those two ways and which one is better? Find out right after the intro. All right, what is up, family? My name is Zachary Thayer, and welcome to another podcast episode from Illinois Student Ministries. You're either watching this on YouTube or you're listening to this on your favorite podcasting app, such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Wherever you're listening or watching this from, be sure to like the video if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to it as a podcast, screenshot it, subscribe to us wherever you're enjoying this content from. And if you find this content valuable to you, either as a student or as a leader of a youth ministry, share it with a friend. That would mean the world to us. And while you're at it, be sure to follow us on all the other social media because we're putting out content all the time, such as memes, devotionals, and announcements. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. That would mean a lot to me because I'm the dude running all of Illinois Student Ministries social media, and I enjoy being employed. So, yeah, go ahead, do all those things. Now, with all that housekeeping stuff out of the way, let's move on to today's content, which is the two ways to raise money for Speed the Light or BGMC. Obviously, these principles can be applied to any other kind of charitable cause that you want to raise money for, but for today's example, I'm going to be using Speed the Light and BGMC because those are the two ministries that Illinois Student Ministries raises money for. For those of you who don't know, BGMC and Speed the Light both exist to supply Assemblies of God missionaries with the resources and equipment that they need to fulfill the assignment that God has put on their lives as missionaries, whether they're serving as a missionary in Vietnam, in the Middle East, Africa, Central America, South America, in America, what have you. BGMC and Speed the Light make sure that they have what they need to get the job done. And our goal for Illinois Student Ministries when it comes to missions is to raise more givers than we ever have before. And that's why I wanted to put together this video podcast, was to help you guys come up with ideas on how to raise money for Speed the Light and BGMC and what the best way of going about it is. Now, as you can tell by the title of this post, there are only two ways to raise money for Speed the Light and BGMC. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, Zach, there's thousands of ways to raise money. You can do car washes, you can do bake sales, you can do walkathons, you can walk dogs, you can sit babies. What are you talking about? How are there only two ways? Let me explain. I'm going to take a drink out of this Speed Light mug. I hope you guys heard that swallow. Anyway, what I mean by that there are only two ways to raise money is that any idea that you can think of to raise money for Speed the Light or BGMC or any other charity, all those ideas fall into one of two categories. What are those two categories? Well, today we're going to break down both of those categories for you. The first category, the two categories are stunts and services. Let's break those down. What is a stunt? The dictionary defines stunt as an action displaying spectacular skill and daring. I've seen stunts fundraisers, like there's been people who have ridden Ferris wheels for days at a time. My friend Cole Callies, he does stunt fundraising by running marathons. There's a girl I know named Madison who she raised $1,000 just by telling people, hey, if you give me money, I'm going to shave my head of hair and I'm going to give all the proceeds to missions. I'm going to give all the proceeds to Speed the Light. I've seen a group of people where they just straight up walked for 12 hours and they had people sponsor their walkathon and they gave all that money to Speed the Light. Stunts are great because they're fun, they look cool on social media, and you can get a lot of attention to your cause and build awareness just through the viral marketing of it all. So if you're looking to do a stunt fundraiser, I'm going to give you guys basically the 4 steps on how to do it. First, you need to pick an activity that you either enjoy doing or you find easy to do. Like, you may not necessarily enjoy walking, but you know that you can do it. But if you enjoy playing basketball like my friend Josh Heinsman, then this may be an option for you. So Once you pick an activity that you enjoy doing or you know how to do, we go to step 2, which is find an extreme way of doing it that will either be seen as challenging or crazy by others, but, and this is a big but, it's still doable. So what my friend Josh Heinzman did is he decided that he was going to make 1,000 free throws in one setting. Not 1,000 free throws in a row, because that would be dang near impossible. Just making 1,000 free throws at one time. And he waited until he raised $1,000 until he got that much sponsorship before he went out and did the 1,000 free throws. Step number 3, spread the word about what you're doing and why. You're going to have to post about your stunt fundraiser on social media, make phone calls, send letters to friends, family, anyone and everyone that you know to build awareness and make the bold ask for their financial support. Some people won't give anything, some people will give a little, and then you're going to find that some people will give way more than you would have ever thought. Now, this is the step that I've seen a lot of people mess up, honestly, because sometimes all they do is they send one letter. They maybe call 2 people, they make a couple posts on social media, and then when they don't get the response that they imagined that they would get, they lose heart and they drop the idea for the stunt fundraiser altogether. Whether you're going to use a stunt fundraiser to raise money for Speed the Light, BGMC, or whatever charity, you have to spread the word and not just say what you're doing, but why. Show people your heart behind why you want to raise this money for this cause. And keep putting out the word until you reach your goal. And something that just a little tidbit on this third one, you're going to find probably more fruit from directly asking individuals as opposed to just doing an open cattle call on social media asking for money. Now that's scarier. It's scarier to ask an individual directly if they would sponsor you. But if you can just get over that courage, if you can just build the courage to do that, then I think you will find great value from doing that. I think you'll be able to hit your financial goal. Step number 4, actually do the stunt and get it documented. Now it's time to follow through with whatever you said that you were going to do. No matter how difficult, scary, or tiring this stunt is, push through it. Build that momentum, build that oomph that you got to do to get through the challenge that you laid out before you. Now let's talk about Josh Heinzman. He did the 1,000 free throws, and I helped him out with it, and literally what we did was I took this laptop, I set it on a table, and I got on Facebook Live, and I put in the caption a giving link, and I told people what we were doing and why, and we just live streamed for 5.5 hours, Josh shooting free throws. We filmed him live streaming, doing the free throws, and after every 50 made shots, we would give Josh a break, have him go to the camera and tell everybody what he was doing, how he was feeling, and why he was going to do this, and telling people how to give. And this whole experience taught me something important about why it's so important to document this stunt fundraiser, because 1, it's proof that you actually did the thing that you said that you were going to do. But 2, it builds further awareness. Because let's say you're doing a stunt like shooting 1,000 free throws or doing a walkathon or sitting on a Ferris wheel for however many days that people sponsor you to. Or a buddy of mine, Peyton Towers, he bench pressed his body weight as many times as possible for 30 minutes. By documenting it, 1, it's proof, right? And then 2, it helps build further awareness, because let's say you get the sponsorship that you wanted, you go do the stunt, but then you post the videos, you post the pictures on social media, and then other people are going to be like, wow, he did that for this cause, I want to give too. And then just by building awareness after the fact, you can raise even more money for your goal, for your Speed the Light giving goal, BGMC giving goal, what have you. So those are stunts. But we got to ask ourselves, what's the value a potential giver gets from giving money to you because you're doing a stunt? Because 1, If it's a friend or a family member, they may enjoy watching you torture yourself with a difficult stunt. And then 2, they get value in taking part in the work of the cause that you're raising money for. So that's the lay of the land when it comes to stunts. Let's talk about services. This one's it's pretty straightforward. Excuse me. It's any kind of labor you do for another person and they pay money for it, and then you give the profits to speed the light, right? So we're talking babysitting, we're talking snow shoveling, we're talking leaf raking, we're talking lawn mowing, selling duct tape wallets, selling paintings, bracelets. There was a girl who even raised a calf and then fed it, took care of it, and then sold it as a cow, and she gave the proceeds to speed the light. Those are all different kinds of services that you can do to raise money for Speed the Light, BGMC, or any other charitable cause. Now, when it comes to the value that they get from giving you money for this, it's more obvious value. Like, okay, you're selling baked goods. Those cookies look delicious. I like eating delicious cookies, so I'm going to give you money to buy those delicious cookies, and then I just get the extra added benefit of like, oh, and I'm giving to a good cause. The steps for doing a service are similar to doing a stunt. 1, you pick the service you want to do, get the supplies you need to make it happen, the duct tape for your wallets, the ingredients for your cookies, and then 2, spread the word by posting about it on social media, asking people if they want to buy your product or purchase your service, put up flyers, talk about it to anyone and everyone you meet. And then after someone agrees to pay you for your service, you simply do what you said that you were going to do. Mow their lawn, walk their dogs, sit those babies, right? So that's how a service works. Now, which one is better? Should we do more stunts or should we do more services? Now, this is going to sound like a cop-out answer, but it's the truth. It completely depends on the situation and kind of the community environment that you're in right now. Let me explain. Because let's talk about the pros and cons I've noticed with stunts. Because stunts, a pro of stunts is that they're a ton of fun, they look awesome on social media, and they build hype and awareness around the cause that you're raising money for. But here's the con that I noticed over the years. Stunts are a one-time thing. You do 2 weeks to a month's worth of awareness building and hype building around the cause and around this crazy thing that you're going to do to raise money. And then the day comes, you fulfill the thing that you said that you're going to do, you film it, you take pictures of it, you post it on social media, you raise even more money, and then, 1 or 2 days later, it's done. And then you have a whole another 11 months where you're not doing anything. And if all you want to do is stunts, then every stunt's going to have to get bigger and better every single time. And while you're putting in more work trying to make these stunts bigger and better, you're going to find that the rate of money coming in is going to get less and less because, believe it or not, your friends and family and that same pool of people that you're pulling money from, those same group of people that are the only ones that care about you doing these stunts, they're going to get bored over time and they'll be less likely to give you money. And let's talk about a situation that I've seen in my own youth group. I'm not a youth pastor, but I am a volunteer youth leader in Bethalto at our Assemblies of God church there. And I remember that there was this one year where like 5 students were doing different kinds of stunts. One was doing like, I'm going to solve a Rubik's Cube for every single dollar that I get. I'm going to do a Rubik's Cube. And he was going to do like a Rubik's Cube marathon. And then 4 other students were doing similar kind of fundraisers, like I'm doing backflips, I'm doing, whatever thing that they wanted to do right. Something that I found is they all asked the same people for money because they were all asking the same church people. They all had the same friends. And they got less money. They didn't hit the target goals that they all had because the money just ran out because it was being spread evenly to all these different people. People get bored with stunts and they're not reliable to carry you through the entire year that you may want to live a generous lifestyle, and they may not carry you to that goal, because if you do this month's work of worth, 1 day's of work to do the stunt and raise the money, and then that's it, right? But here's the thing with services. While they may not be as cool, while they may not be as social media worthy, you can do different services all throughout the year. You can do a different small business for every season. When it's winter, shovel people's driveways. When it's fall, you rake leaves. When it's summer, you mow lawns. You just take whatever service that you know people need and then figure out a way to do it better. And people may be more likely to support your service simply because you're giving the proceeds to a good cause like Speed the Light or BGMC. And also, here's the thing with services too. It's not just limited to your friends and family and people you know from church. I mean, heck, if you're walking dogs, anybody that owns a dog may take you up on your service. If you're mowing lawns, anybody who owns property is going to be like, heck, I hate mowing the lawn. Here you go. If you're selling cookies, hey, as long as the cookies are delicious, anybody with a sweet tooth is going to want to buy some of your cookies. And the fact that you're giving the proceeds to a cause is just an extra incentive for people to choose your service over someone else's. And from what I've seen, the majority of people are more likely to give you money for a service than they are a stunt because they receive more obvious value from the purchase, beyond just feeling good for giving money to charity. So service will give you consistency throughout the year, while stunts help build awareness. And here's the thing. When it comes to which one is better, I believe that there's reason to do both. You can do different services all throughout the year or sell different products all throughout the year, but then once or twice a year, you and a group of your friends from your youth group, you get together and you do one big stunt to build hype and awareness around this cause. And something that you might find with doing stunts is, youth pastors. Let's say that you have a youth group where there's some students who have a huge heart for raising money for Speed the Light, but then you have other students who aren't really into it. They don't really want to put in the work to raise money. You may find that those students who aren't as engaged may be more likely to participate in a stunt simply because it's fun. And then hopefully by participating in the stunt and raising money through Speed the Light that way, they may be encouraged and motivated and inspired to raise money for Speed the Light through doing services the rest of the year. So that's my whole services versus stunts theory when it comes to raising money for Speed the Light and BGMC. But I would love to hear from you guys. If you're watching this video on YouTube, comment below some ideas that you have for raising money for Speed the Light, BGMC, or any other charity, and let me know what you guys thought of this talk. And before I let you guys go, I want to make an announcement. Students and leaders of the ISM family, if you have raised money specifically for Speed the Light or BGMC, we want to hear from you. Go to the link in the description of this post. It will take you to all of our links, but the top link will say Speed the Light /BGMC story submission form. And through the link, you can write in your story of what you did and how much money you raised for Speed the Light or BGMC. And the whole reason why we're gathering stories of awesome givers for Speed the Light and BGMC is because we want to use these stories to help motivate and inspire others to do the same. So if you know someone that would be great for this, or you have your own story, please go to the link in the description. That would be awesome. And by gathering these stories, we'll be able to raise even more money because we raised more givers than we ever have before. So I hope this video has helped you. I hope this podcast has helped you. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions, any response to my talk, I would love to hear it. And with that being said, that's all I have for you guys today. So thank you guys so much for listening, for watching the video. Now go out there, live on mission. Until next time, family.